another episode of the Therapy with Rikki Podcast, where we talk about real conversations that you can feel. I am your host, Rikki McCoy, a licensed therapist in Atlanta, Georgia, and I am excited to be here with you all today as we talk about another great topic, people pleasing. Now, before we get into this topic, I want to ask you, check in with yourself and see how you're doing on this day, wherever you might be, whatever time it is that you're listening to this podcast. Take some time to check in with yourself. How are you feeling? What do you need in this moment? You know, one of the best times to check in with yourself is in the mornings when you first wake up as part of a morning routine. And what it does is it really allows you to, before you give yourself to everything and everybody, before you check social media, before you check your phone, you have the opportunity to just ask yourself what you need in that moment, right? You may wake up and that might be a call out day from work, or you may wake up super energetic and feel super productive and feel like you're able to accomplish all the things that day. But wherever you might be, just know that it's okay. Give yourself grace. Give yourself permission to do what's best for you. So we're going to get into a topic that comes up a lot in therapy, and that topic is people pleasing. And as a recovering people pleaser, I feel like this is an important topic to talk about. And so as I hold space for myself, I'm holding space for you too. If you are new to my page, if you are new to my podcast, welcome. I'm excited to be here and hold these conversations for you. And if you have been rocking with me for some time, welcome back. Please be sure to share, like, subscribe, review, all of the things, y'all, so that we can get it popping. We can get more people listening to this message on this journey of life, self-care, and wellness. All right. So I took some notes today because I don't want to leave anything off around what it means to be a people pleaser. Okay. So if you can relate to any of these things, you might be a people pleaser. You pretend to agree with everything and everyone, right? And so you may notice that you don't really speak your mind. You go along to get along, okay? You feel responsible about how other people feel. And so you make it your duty to ensure that you are making everybody happy. And if you can't show up, or if you need to readjust your time, your schedule, for whatever reason, you feel guilty about doing that. You apologize often because you don't want to disappoint people or let them down, right? You feel burdened. So a lot of times you will feel burdened by all of the responsibilities that you have on your plate, okay? And so we'll talk about some things that you can do to work on that, because what happens is you have so much on your plate because you're trying to please and show up for everything and everyone, but the one person that you're not showing up for is yourself. You can't say no. That 2-letter word is so difficult for a lot of us to say. And so you don't say no to things, to people, because you don't want to disappoint. You don't want to let them down. And ultimately, you don't want to be disliked, right? You don't want to be rejected or abandoned. So there's some deeper stuff going on there around abandonment, rejection, some type of childhood traumas that we might have that I'll get into a little bit later, okay? You avoid conflict. So all of my avoidant people, all of my people who avoid conflict, you don't like having those conflicts in your relationships. And so you go out of your way to avoid them, to ignore them, to act like they don't exist. And they do, right? Conflicts will continue until we can face them. And so just know that conflicts in relationships is normal. Know that it's even in the healthiest relationships, we still have moments of conflict, but you have to learn how to speak up for yourself and how to help people understand what you need in those relationships as well. You need praise to feel good, okay? You need to perform. You need to do all of the things on your to-do list. After you check off one thing, you're quickly looking for the next thing to accomplish, because at some point in your life, we performed so that we could feel loved, so that we can feel supported, so that we can feel valued. And so if you are a person that is a perfectionist, that overextends yourself, that performs to be liked, accepted in this life, whether it's in your workspace or in your personal life, I want you to know that you are worthy and you are valuable just as you are. You do not have to overperform to be accepted and to be loved in your life. All right. Some other things that you may do if you are a people pleaser: you do not admit when your feelings are hurt. You do not admit to people when they have disappointed you, when they have let you down, because you fear that if you do, that person will not be in your life anymore, right? A lot of times when we say, people will say like, okay, like I just need a sign. Like, just show me that this is not my person. This is not where I need to be in life. And you have those signs. The fact that you're asking is a sign, right? But a lot of times we see it and we're not ready to face it or admit it to ourselves yet. And so we quiet ourselves. We dim our light because we want those people in our lives. And, you shouldn't have to do that to maintain your relationships. You shouldn't have to dull what you have to say, quiet your voice to be liked or accepted by other people. Okay? You may also struggle with authenticity, right? So how to show up as yourself in your style, in what you have to say, in your perspective, in your ability to live your life freely and openly without fearing that people will reject you, right? And so a lot of times we hide on the inside, we don't express ourselves, and then that starts to come out in other ways. So, we may feel unhappy with our relationships. We may feel this emptiness inside because we're not really living our lives in our true, authentic light. All right? You are an overgiver. Most people pleasers are overgivers. We overextend ourselves, right? And you feel burned out. You feel stressed. You feel burdened by all of the things on your plate. When ultimately, it's, we got to take some accountability and realize that it's not because of the other people. It's because we don't speak up for ourselves. It's because we don't have any boundaries to protect our peace and our energy. All right. So you may also notice that you don't have any free time. Because again, you have all the stuff on your plate trying to please and do and perform and be all of the things to be liked and accepted when you don't have to. That was a mouthful. I hope you got it, because you don't have to do that. All right. All right. So what happens when you are a people pleaser? A lot of people end up very resentful, very hurt, very disappointed, very angry in their relationships and in other people, like feeling taken advantage of, right? You will always, I know me personally, feeling taken advantage of is a trigger for me, because it's something that makes me feel like I'm showing up, I'm doing all of the things to be present, and the other person doesn't see my value. They don't see my worth. They don't really see how I'm choosing to be here for them. Okay? What else? You feel that your relationships are unsatisfying. And they are, because you're not speaking up for yourself, because you're quieting what you need. And ultimately, those relationships start to feel very one-sided. Okay? We feel stressed, and we also feel burned out. We got way too much going on, and we're not taking care of us. We're not prioritizing self. Okay? It's deep-rooted, y'all, really. We talk about people pleasing, and I want you to, as a licensed therapist, as, somebody that talks to people pleasers all the time, it comes from some type of past trauma. At some point in some relationship, whether it was with parents or other peers or intimate partners, we quieted ourselves. We dimmed our light. We learned that other people's needs were more important than our own. And so we must dim what we have to say. We must dim our needs, because if we don't, this person is going to leave me or abandon me. And if I don't perform to their liking, right, they're not going to be in my life anymore. Okay? They also come from some type of self-esteem issues. Again, not really feeling worthy if we can't perform. not really feeling worthy if we don't show up perfect, right? Feeling weak, feeling that vulnerability is a sign of weakness. Feeling, having that strong woman syndrome, especially as Black and brown women. We have that syndrome that we've learned that, we have to be strong. And if you're not strong, then you're weak. And if you can't handle all the things, then you're weak. And what does that say about you as a woman, right? Or as a person, we don't feel valuable if we can't do and accomplish all of the things that people expect us to do. All right. This can come from some type of fear of rejection, right? Fear of being hurt, fear of being disappointed. And so we do a lot of things to try and control the narrative, right? If I do this, if I show up, if I perform, this person is going to, find me worthy. They're going to love me. They're going to treat me and make time for me and do all of the things to maintain this relationship. So you have to be real with yourself, right? A lot of times if you're performing, it's not genuine. It's for some type of, you want to be received, you want to be accepted. And so that's not genuine. You're not really being your genuine self. And so a lot of times you may notice that's why the relationship, that's why the connection, that's why it's not working, because you are performing to be accepted. And it's not your true self, and it's not in alignment with who you are. So sometimes we just need to be real with ourselves. We need to check our egos. We need to not expect us from other people. You need to really do things out of genuine kindness and genuine love. And what that means is I can express my love. I can show this person that I care about them and that I value them. And you can't really always expect that person to show up like you. Now, I'm not saying don't have expectations. I do feel like you should have expectations and you should have standards for how people show up in your life. People can't just show up in your life and just be there. They have to show you that you're valuable and that you're worthy of being in their life, and vice versa. And so how each person shows up to the table ready and willing to hold space for one another is very important. Okay, you want to practice putting yourself first. So just start putting yourself first in situations. Start asking yourself what you need. Again, check in with yourself in the mornings. Ask yourself how you feel by doing a certain thing. Does it make you feel good after you do it, regardless of what you get back in return, right? How are you going to feel if this person doesn't reciprocate? Are you going to be hurt or disappointed? Because again, sometimes, like I said, it's not authentic and we're doing it for some type of gain, and that's really not how it should be. You should be kind and gentle, and if that's who you are, that's just who you are, and that's what you give to the world. But speaking up for yourself, prioritizing yourself, telling people, hey, I would love to meet up with you, but can we collaborate? Can we look at a time that works for both of us? Because this is a week where I'm tired. This is a week where I need to rest. I'm in a space where I need to rest. Can we do something else that's still restful and still hold space for you and I? Or can we meet another weekend when I'm available and I'm more mentally available, energetically available, right? Even in the workspace. Yes, I might not be able to take on all of these assignments at one time. Is there a way that you would like these things prioritized so that I can focus my time and energy on the things that need to be done first, right? You have to be able to prioritize our time. Prioritize how you spend your time. Prioritize how you use your energy, right? You can't give your energy out to everything and everybody and then expect to feel rejuvenated, expect to feel good, whole. You won't, because you're overextending yourself. It's like a battery, right? If you're not charging the battery, it will die. So your self-care, the way you protect your time and your energy, is valuable. It matters. It is a priority, and you should prioritize yourself at all times, okay? Learn to set some boundaries. Start small. I will say, initially, you will feel guilty for protecting yourself. You will feel sad that you're letting somebody else down. But the more you do it, the easier it gets, okay? Start small. Start with small no's. You can say no. You can say no, thank you. You can say, yeah, thank you for thinking of me, but this is not a good time. You don't have to go into further detail if you don't want to. Learn to value what you need and what you feel. Okay? The thing about these childhood traumas and wounds is that, as children, we couldn't protect ourselves, right? You can't help how you grew up. You can't help who your parents were. You can't help what they did or did not teach you because maybe they didn't know any better. But as an adult, you can protect yourself now. And so when people talk about your inner child and they talk about doing that work, protect yourself. What do you need to do to protect yourself right now? Ask yourself what safety and protection looks like for you. Those are great journal prompts, okay? What does it mean to protect your time? What does it mean to protect your energy? What does it mean to no longer show up in one-sided connections or one-sided relationships? What does it mean to pay attention to red flags earlier so that you're not feeling resentful? And, what does it mean to take accountability? It's not other people that are doing this to you, that are hurting you, that are taking you for granted. It's you not protecting yourself early enough. And so we have to take some accountability for ourselves and for our wellness. Not everybody knows how you feel. Not everybody knows your struggles. They don't know what you're going through. Nobody knows how much energy I put out as a therapist every day. But when I tell you that your girl is energetically drained at the end of the day, my people that are close to me know that, shoot me a text. I might text you, but I don't feel like talking. And it's nothing personal. I need to refuel. I feel drained after a day. My family knows that I need some type of activity between work and personal life so that I can de-stress, so that I can get the negative energy off of me, so that I can refuel myself and be available to you. And so it's nothing personal, but you have to tell people what you need in your life and then give people that opportunity to show up for you. People don't know what you need if you don't speak up. All right? So your feelings matter. What you have to say matters. Your voice matters. You can't dim yourself. You can't dim your light and then wonder why you're not feeling satisfied in your life. Because you're not living in your authentic self, right? And you have these abilities, you have these talents, you have these skills, you have these things that you're great at and good at and creative at because you were meant to utilize it in some way. But you can't dull yourself and dull your experience for a partner, for friends, to be liked in the workplace, to be promoted, for any of these things, y'all. For social media, you don't have to produce and act and be perfect all the time. Perfection is not reality. It's not realistic. And sometimes we put unrealistic expectations on ourselves and others. Okay? Preserve your energy. I just told y'all that. Like, you got to be able to preserve yourself and protect your peace. And another thing that I find really helpful, if you are a giver, if you are a person that has a history of overextending, let people ask you for help. Let people ask you for your opinion. Let people ask you for help. Stop over giving. Stop over helping when people haven't asked you for help. A lot of times, even when your friends are calling and they're venting, start asking people, what do they need? Do you want to have a space where you can just vent and you want to feel heard? Or do you want my help? Do you want realistic, or just my perspective on the solution? That will save you so much time and energy. Not everybody wants your help. Even me as a therapist, right? Not everybody wants my help. Not everybody's ready for therapy. Not everybody is looking to be told that they need to be more accountable or they need, whatever it might be. They're not ready for those truths yet. But let people ask you for what they need and meet people where they are. Okay? As you learn to be open, as you learn to protect yourself, you'll realize that people are going through their own journey and, not to take things personally. So that's my piece. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for listening. If you're a people pleaser, be patient with yourself. That no is very important. Protect yourself, protect your peace. It's like being a good steward, right? You got to be a good steward of what you already have so that you can feel the abundance of life and of wellness, right? You got to protect your energy. You got to protect yourself. You got to protect your peace. so that you don't feel burned out in this life, y'all. Okay? You are meant to thrive. You are meant to flourish and no longer live in survival mode. So, until next time, peace and love.